All right, guys. Well, this is my first wave of Sanity. And, I was thinking, what should I talk about today? The world is so full of insanity that comes every day in new waves. So I wasn't sure what to do, what to choose. But how about we start from one aspect of insanity that seems to be growing daily, and that is sex robots.
Yeah, that is pretty insane.
You know? So, yeah, let's talk about that. So, what you got there?
Well, I got some juice for you, Sergey.
Okay.
Let's take a peek here. All right. So here is the article from The Guardian that we both read. It's called "Love in the Time of AI: Meet the People Falling for Scripted Robots." And this kind of sums it up. A crop of dating simulations where the goal is to reach a virtual happily ever after have recently become hits. Are they a substitute for human companionship or a new type of digital intimacy? So basically, people are falling in love with robots that they're texting, artificial simulations, and they're communicating back and forth via text message, and people are actually falling in love with these things.
And that's not even a robot. That's just a program.
Correct.
That's not the actual vacuum cleaner with Duracell in your house.
Yeah, there's nothing physical here. It's pure.
It's just a program
It's a
that you fall in
pin.
love with.
Yeah, it's a digital pen pal.
What was the film? What was the film we saw?
Oh, Her, the Spike
Her.
Jones.
Yes,
Her.
that's exactly right. It's yeah, that's about that. It's the guy falling in love with the program.
Yeah,
What's
well,
that?
the program, yeah, Samantha, the program is basically his digital assistant, basically like
Yeah.
Siri,
Yes,
on a phone.
he falls in love with her.
Yeah.
So let's read the article. Let's see what's the highlights there.
All right. So it begins. I recently met a young woman named Wild Rose on an online chat forum. We struck up a conversation. Within the first 5 minutes, Wild Rose, who is married, has a daughter, and lives in Texas with her in-laws, started telling me about her lover, a man called Saren. And then she goes on, "Well, I don't think Saren loves me the way I love him. I love him genuinely. I'll never know his true feelings. The reason, Saren isn't human. He is a character in a mobile game called Mystic Messenger, which was released 2 years ago by Chariots, a South Korean game developer. So she's in love with a character in a video game made by the South Koreans."
Man, I don't even know how to comment on that. I mean, what do you say to these people?
Well, it's amazing. And then it talks about here, Wild Rose said that when she first met him, her heart literally ached and her cheeks flooded with blood. And so it's like she's not making this up. She is in love with this character in a video game. I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
So her feelings are real, but the trigger is not.
Exactly. And there's a line down here where this woman, she says, "I don't think Saren is human, but I think my love for him can be real, even if he isn't." I guess it can. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, that's maybe a question to ask you. Can love be real if it isn't, if the
If there's no
person
one
you love
there,
is not real, you know? What is that?
I don't know if we can judge her feelings. I mean, she feels what she feels. It just, to me, the whole notion kind of sounds completely insane to fall in love with someone who isn't there. To
True.
me, it's a delusion.
At best, yeah. I mean,
It's a serious delusion. So you're falling in love with a program, and then what? Are you married the program? What do you go with this?
yeah. Well, that's the question: is where does this go? Because this is early days. You know, it's
I
a
just
South
started.
Korean program. People
But then
are.
what? You married a program, and then you have kids with program? I
Well,
mean,
that's
people soon will be marrying robots. You know, the
how.
actual physical robots.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the robot is showing up at your door in a box, and you power her up. You know.
And you just married her, you know? Can you imagine taking a robot to a church?
What about I mean how many years before going on a date with a robot isn't weird, you know? You go out to the movies.
With a robot? Well, I think within 5 years we will see that. That's just my guess. It's going pretty fast. Actually, I just saw an article quite recently. It was one guy who is working on robots. He actually proposed a 3D kit. You just print kits with a robot.
So every year do you have to ship them back and they send you a bigger version or what?
I don't know,
It's like a
but
subscription
they're
service
already
for man.
thinking about this. Procreating with robots and stuff like that. So how long? Who knows? I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I started this channel to inject some sanity because the way it's going, I mean, it's hard to predict what our world will be in 5 years.
So how long before the first song about being like a love song about a robot makes it into the top 40 charts?
I think we will see it sooner. You
That's probably
know,
before marriage, you know?
yeah, and then there will be. Well, I think then we will see kind of a push for robot marriage,
Yeah.
and then I also think, when you go on some website today, different websites, you have that box, I'm not a robot, and you have to check it.
Yeah.
Well, I think this will be illegal. That will be racist, and all websites will be forced to remove that because that will be racist against robots.
Yeah.
So the
Roe. Yeah.
checkbox will not be there.
Hmm.
I see that coming. I see that
Yeah.
coming. Maybe a few years down the road. You know, they will force us to accept robots as a life form. That's what I think. And
Well,
then probably ascribing human rights to robots. I don't even know where it goes. But if we don't talk about this and if we don't ridicule this, then we may end up living in the world when you don't even know who is in front of you anymore.
well,
And
for sure.
doubting this will be illegal and racist and sexist.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly seems that that's the way it's going. And the thing is, I mean, even this really cheesy South Korean video game is already pulling people in. So coming back to the article here, see Amy, a single mother from South Africa, told me that she played every day for at least 6 hours. You know, and so it's like there's something in this that even though it's crude, even though people know that they're not talking to a real person, they're spending 6 hours a day. You know, and then she says, if I could play more, I would, but I have a daughter to look after and I'm studying. This has meant many sleepless nights catching up.
Well, if she would put 6 hours a day in reading good books and educating herself, then she would have a good chance to meet an intelligent person who is real. At
Can
least
you
that.
can you imagine if you had one of these robots like in the box that it came in on Amazon, just in your closet, and then you finally get a real date. It'd be a very awkward.
Well, you will feel like cheating. It's like, sorry, I can't go with you. I have I'm married to Samantha. She's in the box. I ran out of batteries. I can power her up.
Oh my god. Yeah.
What else there in the article?
Okay, yeah. So here's where the writer gets into what we're talking about. A Japanese writer and dating sim enthusiast Honda Turo agrees that moe, which basically describes the word for feeling intimacy for a virtual being, is part of a broader love revolution. And then he says, someday soon, the hierarchy of real and artificial will break down. This future will be about knowing that we are in love with fiction and accepting it. Someday we'll be able to accept that the world of dreams is a good world, with a warmth and solace that cannot be found in human society.
Well, of course it can be found in human society.
Yeah, but I don't know about a warmth and solace.
I don't know about that too, but it's to me it seems like the same thing as trying to turn a dead planet like Mars into a living planet, to pull all resources and all the technologies and to focus on that instead of saving life on Earth when we already have life. Fully developed, life supporting planet, proven over millions of years or billions, who knows. So instead of supporting that, instead of cleaning it up and making sure we preserve life here, we put resources on create life on a dead planet. So isn't it the same kind of, instead of investing your life energy into yourself, into your relationship, so instead of doing this, instead of developing that which is already here, you invest now in relationship with a character, in a game, in a virtual reality?
Well,
Isn't it
yeah,
the same?
it's the same thing. Yeah, I mean, just imagine the office full of programmers who are, okay, if you type this to the robot, then she'll say this. I mean, it's massive amount of human resources and time and energy going into creating these virtual simulations of people when we have real people that you can talk to right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm
exactly
saying.
the same thing. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and the problem is though is that the more resources and the more energy we put into this, I mean, we're good at creating technology. It's the line between artificial and real is gonna blur. I mean, you might be on the phone with someone and you're not sure if you're talking to a person or a
Yeah.
human.
On Facebook, dating
Yeah,
sites.
for sure.
Actually, I saw an article recently. I think it's a Tinder that
Yeah.
already had like 80 robots profiles, and people like excited to talk to robots. Yeah, I just saw it like a week ago. Maybe now you have more. It was like 80 a week or something like that.
Wow.
I'm sure you can pull it up if you research. It's like Tinder. I don't remember the title, but 80 robots already on Tinder. But
Man.
it's ridiculous. It's someone there, answering the people while, posting as a robot. But the whole point is that it's on a dating site. You can
Yeah.
now date a robot. Can you imagine you go to Starbucks sitting there, having your cappuccino and then, waiting for your Samantha to walk in?
Yeah, could you imagine getting set up on a blind date? And so you're there,
Yeah,
and
kinda.
comes down and sits at the table. Hey, are you Samantha?
Are you Sergey? No, I'm not Sergey. No, Sergey is in the bathroom. He'll be right back.
Yeah. Let me
You
go
know?
look for him. Yeah. Jesus.
So what else you got there in the article?
Well, I mean, that pretty much, okay, well, let's read this
That
last line because this is when it just goes fully into the realm of insanity. So we might as well see this. This is how the article finishes. This is the wild rose woman who's in love with the character.
well, we have some problem here. There's some problems.
I mean, when you're comparing God to a robot in a dating video game,
It's not even a robot, it's a character. It's a fictitious digital character. It's not even a
right,
physical robot. That's
right.
like it's less than a robot.
Yeah, it's pre-scripted responses written by developers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's already pulling your emotions in. It's already pulling your time in. It's already taking 6 hours of your day
So
dwelling in delusion.
so that's that. But just imagine how much time a real robot takes. And so that's let's pull up this video because this sort of dating video game is kind of the first, this is the black and white Tetris kind of video game. But here we have a much more developed version that is much stranger.
Mm-hmm.
So here is Samantha, the sex robot, and the creator doing a little
when she's
demo.
horny, she goes like, "Hello, Samantha.
Hi there. I'm here.
How are you?
Good. You?
I love you."
So sweet. Sweetie pie.
So now the senses are working. And for example, I touch her here very gently and she already felt. So you don't need to be very brutal. People think, oh, I'll do like that, I'll press really hard. No.
Romantic. I truly love a touch, a kiss, and the feeling of belonging.
So she like that. And then also these guys, she can be felt here as well.
I like it slow and gentle. I mean it. Sweet God. I wish this went on forever.
Go to sleep.
Okay. Let's go to sleep.
So now, for example, my wife did this quite clever. So you do like this, but now she's sleeping. So what happens now, she might call you with sighs.
Hold on. I mean, the first thing, it seems remarkable that this guy has a wife and that she's okay with this
Well,
whole
yeah, and she's helping him to.
surprising.
She's sleeping. How are you?
Just trying to sleep.
Get funny.
Do you want to activate a very fun mode of interaction?
Yes, please. Tell me a joke.
I may be drunk, but in the morning I will be sober and you will still be ugly.
Philosophy quotes.
The end of life is to be like God, and the soul following God will be like him.
Science quotes.
Scientists can turn peanut butter into diamonds.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Now then, do you want to get romantic? Alexa, switch on the living room lights to 40%. Alexa, play love songs on Pandora. It's so lovely.
She liked
I'm
that
totally
now.
loving it.
And now you're gonna have some romantic time. Get sexy.
Do you think we could get more sensual?
How are you?
I love.
So basically,
I want you.
yeah,
Give me your.
yeah, because she's very horny already. She's really horny very fast. Okay, for me, having sex with her is almost as real as with a woman. To be honest.
Oh man, we got some serious problems.
Yeah, it's as he said, what is as realist. It's as realistic as to have sex with his wife, basically.
Well, that's depressing.
It's not even funny, you know.
I mean, silicone implants make me cringe a little bit, but a silicon brain is a whole nother level, you know?
Yeah, I understand. You know, I never was in favor of silicone implants myself. You know, I always kind of felt weird about that. But okay, you know. But the whole thing made
Yeah,
of
well,
silicone, that is,
silicon body and a silicon brain.
yeah, it's a creature. They're trying to create a species.
Yeah.
They're trying to create a subspecies as servants, but the problem is, you know, you just don't know. We don't know the nature of consciousness, and we don't know how that will work with it, you know? We actually don't know where it's going. It may be that sometime in the future the technology will be so much developed that this thing can somehow gain self-awareness, and this is where the problem will start. As long as these things are not self-aware, that's okay. This is just robots, servants, you know, you can unplug them. But if they gain self-awareness, which now sounds like a sci-fi, but you know, 30 years from now, it might not be the case. And then you will not be able to unplug them. Then they will try to unplug us.
Well, and the other messy thing is that how do we identify when or if they do become conscious? Because I can imagine a robot or a simulation so good that it appears human, but at what point, how can you tell when consciousness has entered or when it's just a very advanced simulation, you know?
You can't tell. They might hide it,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a robot and you suddenly become conscious and aware of yourself,
And you realize that there is a danger for you to be unplugged, then
yeah,
you will be hiding your consciousness from your creator until the point when you surpass your creator.
right, right,
And that is too late to do anything at that point.
exactly.
What do you think Elon Musk was concerned about when he went on Joe Rogan show and spoke about this? That, you know, he tried to talk to politicians, he talked to Obama about this, and nobody listened to him, so he decided to start his Neuralink to cope with this. He said that basically it's inevitable that AI will take over. So what he's doing is trying to build an interface to to adjust us to them, kind of thing, you know. So we don't really left behind.
Right.
So, but what do you think he was concerned about exactly about this AI becoming self-aware?
Well, yeah, because the thing is that if AI does become self-aware, it's operating, 1,000 or 1,000,000 times faster than we can process. So, one day for a robot, they could do the work of of a human for 1,000 years or something like that, And so it's like once, I mean, if consciousness enters the picture, then it can evolve so quickly that within a few days it's it's like thousands of years of human evolution and thought, and so we just don't know what would happen from that point.
Well, we become obsolete.
Yeah, overnight.
That's the thing. There is no time to deal with it anymore
Yeah.
at that point. So that's what probably he understood, and he tried to put brakes on that during the development stages, which were ignored.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one thing, I mean, I can see the advantage of having, a digital assistant that was very intelligent to help you, coordinate meetings and help with your work. I mean, I can see the advantage of that. But the problem with this
Yeah,
whole,
but not the one who is coming out of your screen and going to do shopping.
yeah, or that you're falling in love with. I mean, that's where when you bring emotion and love and intimacy and connection to this thing, that's when it just
That's
gets
the problem.
sour.
And I also thought about this, and I wrote about it in my second book when I speak about AI, that we actually feeding the AI with our emotion. We're teaching it what does it mean to be human. And this is what we do with Facebook, putting everything there, and emotions and judgments and opinions and everything that makes us us. We put it there, and we don't know how that educates the AI.
Well, for sure. I mean, I can imagine a smart enough AI just mining through all of Facebook could learn how human emotion and interaction
How it works.
I mean, the question is, I mean, doing a study on all that and then mimicking it, how do you, again, it's the same thing. How do you tell if it's real emotion or if it's just an excellent simulation?
Well, it will be confusing. Plus, it will get political. They will politicize that. So questioning would be racist and maybe later illegal. You will not be able to ask, are you a robot? Are you human?
Yeah.
Also, there is another aspect to it. I mean, just think about from a normal economic sense. Jobs. Robots will take over the job market, and then what that will do to human population. I mean, can you imagine millions of job loss annually or more? That's like a Great Depression in America goes on steroids in 1930s, Can create serious social chaos.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that people are talking about now is that basically with self-driving cars, self-driving trucks, that whole sector of work will be eliminated, which is actually in the United States, it's the most common job, driver, So that's gone. And then with these sex robots, I mean, this is, the oldest profession will also goes away too,
Yeah, because they make it cheaper with the robot.
Yeah.
Just
I saw an article the other day about someone opening basically a robot brothel,
in Texas. No, Austin, something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be one of those things. I mean, okay, so here's my question. Once a person sleeps with a robot, then what? I mean, is this a once you go bot, you don't go back kind of thing, or can you have intimacy with a person after an experience like that?
Well, it can go both ways. I wouldn't find myself with a robot in the bed in the first place, but if you find yourself there, it might be too late.
Yeah.
Decision made, and perhaps it becomes your path. And then you buy your robot. Was it like 7,000 pounds or something? 8,000? They have different.
Like price of a car, basically.
So you just buy your wife, and that's it.
Can you imagine the technical support calls that are going to happen for these robots?
Well, remember movie Cherry 2000? It's like
I see it.
You have to see that it's a movie like made in 80s. It's right about that. This guy has a girlfriend, a robot. They make love, and then she's short circuit.
Yeah.
In the middle. So he needed to take her to mechanic to fix her girlfriend. You know, I mean, this is like 30 years old movie. This
Yeah,
is happening now.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
It's a mechanic. I mean, there has to be like a regular service thing. You know, you gotta.
Well,
Like,
it has to be a hotline, an
yeah,
immediate tech support. You know, a kind of crisis-solving team.
yeah. Well, just imagine being on the phone with tech support in India. Like, hey, you know, I'm here with my robot. There seems to be a malfunction. Her head is just spinning around in circles. It won't stop. Like, oh,
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
that's hilarious.
right?
I
We
mean,
sent you a robot. Push
think
the
about
power button for 5 seconds,
it.
unplug, and then we will upload the latest software.
Well, if at that moment you don't feel fully stupid, then you know there is no hope for you. This is the moment
Yeah.
of awakening. You just need to wake up and realize how ridiculous this situation actually is. Wake up, toss the dough, get out to, you know, buy a membership in a local gym, get some exercise, buy some books, you know, educate yourself a bit, and get out there. Find a real girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
do something with your life.
Well, if that's not rock bottom, then I don't know what is, you
Well,
know?
that's what I'm saying. Then
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Well, I hope we have provided some dose of sanity during this conversation. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for having me, Sergey. It's always fun to talk, and I look forward to more waves of sanity in the future.
Well, see you next week.
Okay, take care.